Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Winnipeg Jets media availability for Monday, July 25th. We're joined by Jets forward Pierre-Luc Dubois. Anyone with questions for Pierre-Luc, use the raise hand function now. And just so everybody knows, we're going to do questions in English first, followed by French. So we'll get through the English portion and then we can move on to French. And we'll get things going with Ken Wiebe from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Thanks, Gregor. Afternoon, Pierre-Luc. Why did a one-year contract make sense for you at this time?
Yeah, well, after the season ended, me and my agent started talking, and different situations, different scenarios, and we felt that at this time the one-year deal, I think, was the way we wanted to go. And you hear so many things of things that I apparently said or I apparently did, and a lot of it is frustrating to read some things that I didn't even know I did, or that I didn't do or didn't say. But at this time, the one-year deal, the qualifying offer was the way we wanted to go. There's never a doubt of holding out or forcing anything. You read stuff that he wants out of Winnipeg. If I wanted out of Winnipeg, I would have asked for a trade. I didn't ask for a trade. There's no doubt in my mind I was going to show up to camp. Once we figured out the one-year deal was the way to go, we were just waiting for the qualifying offer and then waiting for that. And, then we signed that, and now I'm going to camp and excited to meet everybody, the new coaching staff, the new players, talk to coach, Saturday or Sunday. And I'm just really excited to get it going this year.
Are you open then to a longer term relationship with the Jets after this contract is up?
Yeah, after this contract's up, then we'll deal with it. And the one-year deal, now my job is to play hockey again. When you don't have a contract, you're a free agent. But now that I have a contract, I'm a Winnipeg Jet. And I'm really looking forward to playing this year, because last year was a disappointing year for the team. And we have a lot of the same guys this year, and my whole focus right now is, as we speak right now, I worked out this morning, was to get ready this morning, and tomorrow I'm going back in the gym, and the rest of the summer will just to concentrate on getting ready for training camp and to prepare for this year.
Go next to Kelly Moore from 680 CJOB. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thanks very much, Gregor. Pierre-Luc, you mentioned to Ken that there were some things that you apparently did or that were reported on that you allegedly did. Can you expand on some of those? And for sure, is there any accuracy in you having informed the Jets, whether it's directly or through your agent, that you intend to go to the free agent market when you're eligible in the summer of 2024?
I read some things. It's funny. It's frustrating sometimes to read them, but I saw a thing. It's like, I went to the draft thinking that I was going to get traded. I went to the draft because I live 15 minutes from the arena. I'm a fan of hockey. My bank invited me. They had a box with food and dinner, and it was a Thursday night. It's an entertaining night. I'm a fan of hockey. I used to go to drafts when I was a kid. I spent half the night with my dad, and he spent half the night with the organization. If I was invited to go with the Jets, I would have gone with them. But I got invited by my bank, so I went with the bank. You hear stuff that I wanted out of Winnipeg. If I wanted out, like I said, I would have asked for a trade. I didn't ask for a trade, not for 1 second. It didn't cross my mind for a second to ask for a trade. So you just see these things, and nowadays with social media, it goes so fast. Articles come out every second, and some of them are 99% wrong, and you still read and you still wonder if it's true. So there's been a lot of speculation. So now I'm finally happy that you guys get to hear it from me, from the source, the man himself.
Go back to Kelly Moore. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thanks, Gregor. So just to go back again, Pierre-Luc, is it accurate that you or your representation has informed the Jets that you would like to test the free agent market when you become eligible to do so in the summer of 2024?
Yeah, we talked with the team. We had conversations, and like I said, I thought that the best thing was to do the 1-year deal, the qualifying offer, and now that's taken care of. My contract is signed. I'm ready to go for the season, and next summer will be next summer. I mean, next summer, I'll be a restricted free agent again, and then it'll be another decision. But for now, I don't have to think about this anymore. It's been on my, you try not to think about it because you can't control it. All I could do is play this year and to the best I could, and then let my agent and the team talk. But it's still your life, so you still think about it a lot. Now it's signed. Now there's no more thinking about that. Now it's just getting ready for the season.
Go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks, Gregor. Thanks, Pierre-Luc. You've mentioned your agent a few times. He did make some comments suggesting that Montreal is in fact a place that you would like to play, and obviously there's connections there. I'm just wondering, when your agent made those comments, was that something you were aware he was going to say? And I guess, do you feel like comments like that maybe add some fuel to the fire and maybe box the Winnipeg Jets into a bit of a corner?
I think, when you're a free agent, I'm sitting at home watching TV, working out, not doing much. My agent, when you're a free agent, you can talk to teams. You can talk to multiple teams. You can talk to any team you want. I think, to be honest, I saw the comments that he made. I think people are blowing them out of proportion. I think people took a little thing and blew it up times 20. And it's fine. Everybody can read into it what they want. To be honest, I didn't think anything too much of it. I think, what's said sometimes and what actually happens and what's actually being said, in these meetings can be taken out of context. And that's how I see it. I mean, yeah, I just thought it was overblown, the reaction. And I think some people just ran with the 2-second that they liked or didn't like to hear.
Go ahead, Mike. You're muted, Mike.
There we go. Just as a follow-up to that, Pierre-Luc, I mean, obviously these days teams have to, protect what assets and not risk losing players for nothing. So by signing a 1-year deal, by kind of kicking this down the road, are you, I guess, aware of the fact that this could potentially force the Jets to have to do something with you because they obviously don't want to get into a situation where they lose you for nothing?
Yeah, it's I mean, you see it all the time, Look, at the end of the day, guys get traded, guys sign long, like everything's on the table. Everything on the player side and on the team side is up in the air sometimes. And there's guys that sign long-term deals and get traded 2 years into their deal, and while they're on vacation, while they're just enjoying life, and that they thought that they were going to play somewhere for the rest of their career, and then they get a call and you're shipped off the next day. And then you see guys like Johnny Gaudreau leaving free agency. It's a business, and sometimes people think that the business side of it is just the teams, but it's both ends of the spectrum. And there's never easy decisions to make on players or GM side, but at the end of the day, it is a business for everybody. And I think the more you can work together and work and try to be on the same page and work in the same direction, obviously it's the best way to do it. And if every side can be happy with the outcome, then it just it's that would be the perfect way of doing it.
Go next to Murat Atesh from The Athletic. Go ahead, Murat.
Thanks, Gregor. Hi, Pierre-Luc. I'm sort of just reflecting, trying to be in your chair right now. I mean, in my job, if there's a place I want to play or what have you, I don't have much of the same rights, whether restricted free agency or anything else like this, to sort of influence where I play or where I work. In your job, up until you're roughly 25, depending, one team owns your rights, they can move it. I'm just wondering, based on everything that's gone on this summer, how you feel about that. Like, are you just a guy using all of the items, all of the options within the rule book to try to make the best situation for yourself? Do you feel like teams should be able to own your rights until you're 25, 26, etc.? I'm wondering what you think about that side of things.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll try to answer the question as best as I can. I understood it. I'll try to answer as best I can. I think, well, first, I don't have any issues with the rule. Rules are rules. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not somebody that tries to change it. It is what it is. But I mean, except from working out this summer, I haven't really done much to influence anybody I get a call from my agent and, we talk it through and that's pretty much it. Like I said, when you're a free agent, you can talk to teams. That's part of the rule book of being a free agent. You don't have a contract. You could look at all your options. That's, like I said, I've been in the gym 90% of the summer, so I haven't done much to influence anybody or anything.
Go ahead, Murat.
And just to sort of follow that up, like you said, you're not actively influencing things. So do you in your chair now, when asked, do you plan on testing unrestricted free agency? You don't really say yes or no. Do you plan on having a long-term relationship with the Winnipeg Jets? You don't really say you're at yes or no. You sort of back to the future being a few different options and all that sort of stuff. Do you realize now that you're adding to the speculation that you sort of speak to not really enjoy or not want by not being able to give a clear answer to that?
Yeah, and I understand that, and I understand that it's your guys' job at the same time. And when I don't give you much, it's easier to speculate on what I want and what I don't want. Like I saw the thing where, you said that I went to the draft in hopes that I was going to get traded. Was false. But I'm just happy now that, we can speak about it and I can try to clear things up, to the best I can. But, this 1 year deal is the way that we thought we should go. And I know next summer we're going to have the same questions and we're probably going to we could be having the same call next summer, but that's next summer. For now, my mind is just getting ready on the season and, to meet the coaching staff, to meet the new guys on the team, to get ready. Last year was a disappointing year. So really, really looking forward. I think we have a good team. I said it last year and I'll say it again. I'm just excited to get back to Winnipeg and to try to have a good year.
Go next to Carter Brooks from Game On. Go ahead, Carter.
Hey, Pierre-Luc. You mentioned a little bit about your excitement for this year. Can you tell me what you are excited about and what it is that you've really enjoyed about being in Winnipeg so far?
Yeah, well, first, I think with the new coaching staff, I'm excited to meet everybody. I've talked to Coach a few times. I've heard about, the assistant coach. I met Marty. Obviously, he worked for the Moose, so I've met him before. I think we have a really good team. I said it last year, but I'll say it again. Even though last year was a disappointing year, I think we can do a lot of damage this year in the NHL. And I think, from the forward group to these, to Bucky and Net and everybody on the team, I think we have a good team. I think it's going to be a big year for us. Like I said, I think with a chip on your shoulder, sometimes you could do that extra motivation helps you throughout the year, and you're gonna have ups and downs. But to remember what happened this season before of not making the playoffs and that deception or that disappointment, I think it could be really good for us, an advantage for us this year.
Go ahead, Carter.
You said you met some of the coaching staff. Just for clarification's sake, you have spoken with Rick Bowness, and if so, how did that go, that conversation?
Oh, it went well. We talked to him at the beginning of the summer, then talked to him on Saturday, I'm pretty sure. Found out that the first time I talked to him, I was in Cape Breton, and he told me he lived there. So when he was a kid for a few years. So it's a small one. When I was there, it's funny. Everybody was talking to me about him, and it's a community where everybody's close knit. So they're all telling me stories about when they were kids and they remembered. But it was a good call. I talked about to be ready for camp and to be excited for this season and to try to add to add to my game and to become the best player that I can become. And I was excited. I think everybody on our team, talking to the guys on our team, everybody's excited. Everybody's excited for this season. We know we have the expectations for us are high, and we'll try to enjoy it as much as we can.
We'll just do a couple more in English before we transition to French. We'll go next to Scott Billick from the.
Thanks, Gregor. Hey, Pierre-Luc. I'm just wondering if you can explain what part of your agent's comments about wanting to play for the Montreal Canadiens were blown out of proportion.
Yeah, see, just right there, I think, the question was, is Montreal a market that he'd like to play in one day? And he said maybe it's a place that he would see himself playing. Like he said, your question was, what was more out of proportion to him saying, do you want to play for the Canadiens? And it's I want to play. He said, it's a place that maybe one day he could play. I think people just took that and just blew it up times 10 and, said, oh, he's trying to force this. He's trying to force that. At the end of the day, I think that you could see it. Look, I'm not saying you're seeing it. I just think that those comments were just blown out of proportion. I think that if the question was asked of that, you ask any player that comes from a city that that grew up watching a team play in their city or in their province, and yeah, they probably at some point in their lives thought about of that option. No different from guys from Winnipeg or guys from Washington, guys from Boston, guys from Los Angeles. I mean, it's no different than that. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. That's just life.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, and just curious, these questions, are fairly straightforward that you're getting. I'm just maybe wondering why they're difficult to answer then. Like, if you want to play in Montreal, why is it hard to just say I want to play in Montreal or whatever? If I want to test free agency in 2 years, why not just say I want to test free agency in 2 years? Like, maybe I'm just trying to understand why you're trying to maybe skirting around them a little bit.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but I'm pretty sure you've at some point changed your mind or not been sure about something in your life, and who knows, a year later, maybe 6 months later, maybe 30 minutes later, you change your mind, or you've thought of something different, or you've thought of a different idea. Look, I don't even know what I'm eating tonight for dinner. I don't know what I'm going to do in 2 years. I don't know what I'm going to do in 6 years. I don't know what I'm going to do in 6 months. I am not a type of person to. I'm somebody that thinks, and I think there's a bunch of different opinions and there's a bunch of different ways of thinking. I'm not somebody that has one idea and I set on it for the next 6 years. Everybody's changed their mind. Everybody's had different ideas. Everybody's at some point liked something and then maybe later to realize that no, it's just human nature to change your mind sometimes. That's why I get you guys have articles to write of these questions, but I know sometimes questions aren't as the answers to these questions aren't as easy as just yes or no.
So the last one in English, we'll go with Jeff Hamilton. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks, Gregor. Hey, Pierre-Luc. Just on the topic of changing minds, look, as you mentioned, this is part of the business. You're in a position to make the decision that you've made. When you look at what the Winnipeg Jets did last season or didn't do, and when you look at the headlines they've made throughout the offseason, I think it's fair to ask, why would anybody want to sign long-term with the Winnipeg Jets? I'm wondering how much of last year, what you went through as a team last year, or maybe more importantly, what you hope to see this year with the Winnipeg Jets is playing into the position of why you haven't decided to sign long-term with this team.
No, I think the group is a great group of guys. I think the organization's a great organization. Since I've been there, I've been treated with nothing but respect. My first year there was, for my standards, awful. and they didn't give up on me. They didn't make me feel like I was a disappointment. They didn't make me feel like anything bad. They supported me. They show confidence in me, even though I didn't deliver the first season. And then last year I thought I improved, and I think I can improve again. So I don't see it like that. I just think that this next deal might be for the rest of my career. I might retire with this. I just turned 24 years old. I look at myself from 2, 3, 4 years ago, and I'm a completely different person. It's a major decision, and I want to be sure to make the right one. And it has nothing to do with stuff like that. It sometimes, you make a decision not because you hate something, you don't like something. Sometimes it's just because you have something else in your mind. But I think the group that we have is a great group. I love the guys. I can't wait to see them. I'm going to go down to Michigan to see some guys this summer and skate with a few of them, and before I show up to camp. But yeah, I'm excited for this season.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, just to follow up to that, Pierre-Luc, just looking forward to this season. Just from what do you make of the off-season moves? It looks like there hasn't been a lot of movement as far as changes from last year. It seemed like at the end of last season, it looked like it demanded change for success. How comfortable are you with the changes over the offseason, and what do you think needs to be done, as step one to make sure this team hits the ground running, after a disappointing year? Yeah, well, it'll be interesting with the new coaching staff. The ideas they have with the new systems, the culture they want to set. Last year I thought we had a really good team. It was a very disappointing year. I mean, not making the playoffs and being out with a handful of games left was very disappointing. And this summer, or the moves that they made, it's not we're the players, we just play. We're not paid to make decisions. But for us, the team going into camp, we're as confident as we were last year. It was disappointing, frustrating, a hard pill to swallow, and almost like a slap in the face, a wake up call. But we know the talent we have in our team. We know we have a good team. We know we have confidence in each other. So this training camp with this new staff is going to be very important for us to prepare for the season. But I think, like I said earlier, sometimes when you have a chip on your shoulder and you have that extra motivation, it could go a long way in having a good year. So we'll start at training camp and go from there.
All right, we'll transition to French now, and we'll go first to Simon Olivier Lorange. Go ahead.
Bonjour Pierre-Luc. Écoute, je ne te ferai pas répéter tout ce que tu as déjà dit parce qu'il y a quand même beaucoup de stock là-dedans, mais c'est quand même assez particulier. En fait, on entend peu ça dans le hockey ou dans le sport en général, des joueurs qui justement ne veulent pas s'engager à long terme, veulent pas ou disent pas qu'ils sont animés par ce désir-là d'avoir de la stabilité. Est-ce que ça appartient à ta personnalité? Comment tu composes avec ça, justement, cet élément-là de ne pas t'engager à long terme?
Ouais, comme j'ai dit, je pense que je viens d'avoir 24 ans. La personne que j'étais il y a 2 ans, 3 ans, 4 ans, 1 an, pas la même personne. Je vieillis, je deviens plus mature, j'essaie en tout cas. Des décisions, ça peut changer. Puis je pense que, comme j'ai dit, si je fais mon contrat, un contrat à long terme, ça peut être jusqu'à la fin de ma carrière, potentiellement. Peut-être que, mais ça va être une grosse portion de ma carrière, ça va être une grosse portion de tout ça. Donc, faut vraiment, pour moi en tout cas, je trouve que c'est une décision très, très, très importante qui se fait pas rapidement, qui se fait en y pensant longtemps, en demandant l'opinion de ma famille, de mes parents, ma blonde, tu sais. Le prochain contrat, en plein milieu du contrat, ça se peut, j'ai une famille, tu sais pas, il y a tellement de choses qui peuvent arriver que je veux pas trop y aller rapidement puis le regretter plus tard. Je pense que quand tu dis que tu vas être à quelque part longtemps, il faut que tu sois sûr de ton affaire, pas juste pour la première année ou la deuxième, mais il faut que ça soit tout le long du contrat.
En fait, je rebondis sur la dernière partie de ta réponse. Quand tu dis que tu veux être à quelque part longtemps, est-ce que ta réflexion justement de ne pas t'engager présentement, c'est parce que tu ne sais pas si tu veux t'engager à Winnipeg ou tu ne sais pas si tu veux t'engager tout court?
Honnêtement, j'ai pas pensé à ça. C'est juste, comme je dis, moi, je pense que quand tu signes un contrat à long terme, tu sais qu'il va y avoir des hauts, des bas. T'espères que c'est tout le contrat. Ça va être des belles années, mais il va y avoir des hauts, des bas. Il va y avoir des périodes que c'est difficile. Faut que tu sois sûr de t'es sur la glace, hors glace. Est-ce que tu te sens bien dans la situation que tu es? Est-ce que l'organisation, c'est une organisation que tu vas être dedans? Est-ce que si le coach se fait congédier, ça change quelque chose? Il y a des joueurs qui se font échanger à chaque année. Tu veux pas signer à quelque part, tu veux pas rester à quelque part à cause qu'il y a un coach que tu aimes parce que ça se peut que 2 ans plus tard, il n'est plus là. De Columbus, quand j'ai demandé un échange, il y avait David Savard, c'était comme mon frère. Mais si j'aurais voulu rester là à cause de lui, ben 6 mois plus tard, lui, il s'est fait échanger. Donc, tu peux pas, c'est pas juste une décision que tu prends basée sur une ou deux petites choses, c'est une décision que tu bases sur l'ensemble de ta vie, de ta carrière, de l'équipe, de ta vie à l'extérieur de l'aréna, de tout ça. Donc, c'est quand même une très grosse décision à prendre.
Go next to Arpon Basu from The Athletic. Go ahead, Arpon.
Salut Pierre-Luc. Si ça te dérange pas, je vais te demander en anglais. Sorry to make you jump back and forth.
That's fine.
I just wanted to get back to obviously your agent's comments on television. I understand your point of view where maybe it was taken out of context or it was blown out of proportion, but I think you can recognize that it's pretty rare for a player's agent, a player whose rights belong to one team, to say publicly that you want to go play or would like to someday play for another team. And it was hard not to get the impression from that there was some sort of intent behind it, creating a pressure point of some sort. I mean, just were you surprised by those comments? Did you know that he was going to make them? And can you describe if there, or can you confirm or not whether there was some intent behind it?
First for the intent, I don't know. And I talked to Pat now, the contract's taken care of, so less now, but we talked a good amount during the week, and I wasn't aware till one of my friends pointed that out to me, and I trust Pat. He's my agent. I trust that he does what he does for, when he does something for me, it's for my so I'm losing the words between mixing in French and English here, but for my personal gain, I guess. Especially when I was a free agent at the time, I didn't have a contract. But after that, I haven't put much thought into it. I trust Pat, and I trust what he does, and I think he's a great agent. I think he's the best in the business. If I didn't think that, I wouldn't be with him. But yeah, what he does and what he says, I trust him. Oh yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah. And just, you mentioned earlier how because of the 1-year contract that you're likely going to be having these same conversations next summer, and you seem to accept that. I mean, to what extent does that play into your decision here, knowing that taking a 1-year deal will remain an issue with the entire basis of this whole call will remain something that will kind of hover around you? And how do you think you're going to be able to deal with that over the next year or even 2 years?
Yeah, I enjoy working with you guys, but I was not looking forward to this call. It's not easy, but it's part of the business. It's part of, as much as playing and getting on the ice and playing well is part of my job, this is also part of it. And this 1-year contract, this could be something that hovers during the season or at the end of next year, and we'll could be on the same call next summer. But I try not to think about it. Now that the contract's signed, my whole mindset is just getting ready for the season, getting ready on the ice, getting ready off the ice, getting ready mentally. I sound like a broken record, but I'm looking forward to this season. Last year was disappointing, so ever since that last game against Seattle, I've been mentally preparing for this next season. So yeah, I'm that's where my mind's at right now.
Go next to William Tremblay from RDS. Go ahead, William.
Salut Pierre-Luc. Bon, t'en as parlé un peu en anglais, là. Il y a eu plusieurs rumeurs qui circulaient à ton effet que tu voulais peut-être changer d'équipe. Comment t'as vécu ça, puis comment t'as vu ça, ces rumeurs-là, à ton sujet?
Ouais, c'est frustrant des fois parce que t'entends des choses que j'ai pas fait, j'ai pas dit. Des choses que, tu sais, j'ai l'affaire que j'étais au repêchage parce que je pensais me faire échanger à Montréal. J'étais au repêchage parce que j'habite à 10 minutes du Centre Bell. J'étais un fan de hockey. Je me suis fait inviter par ma banque. Il y avait une loge. On a mangé en haut. Mon père était là. Il a passé la moitié du temps avec mon père, l'autre moitié avec mon agence. Différents membres de mon agence, puis la banque dans laquelle j'ai parlé pendant la journée dans une conférence avec eux. Des affaires comme ça, des fois, c'est frustrant. Des rumeurs, il y en a toujours par rapport à que ce soit des échanges, ces affaires-là. Je vis avec, ça fait partie de la business. Les rumeurs, par exemple, de quelque chose que j'ai fait ou quelque chose que j'ai dit quand j'ai pas fait ça ou pas dit ça, c'est là des fois que ça devient un peu frustrant, mais comme ça fait partie de la business aussi. Il y a des pour et des contre pour tout, mais moi, je rentre dans le gym, je m'entraîne le plus fort que je peux, je me prépare pour la saison, je laisse mon agent faire le reste. Mais là, maintenant, le contrat est signé, donc j'ai juste la saison en tête.
Go ahead, William.
Bon, puis t'en as parlé aussi en anglais. N'importe qui vient d'une ville qui a une équipe de hockey veut jouer avec cette équipe-là. J'imagine que là, tu es avec les Jets, tu t'es engagé avec les Jets, mais j'imagine que de jouer avec le Canadien, ça t'intéresserait à un moment ou à un autre de ta carrière.
Ah, c'est jamais qu'est-ce qui peut arriver. Il y a tellement d'options sur la table, il y a tellement de choses qui peuvent arriver. Que j'ai signé mon contrat avec Winnipeg. J'ai hâte que la saison commence. C'est juste à ça que je pense en ce moment. Je pense pas à l'année prochaine, je pense pas à 2 ans. Je pense juste à me préparer pour cette saison avec les Jets.
Go next to Emile Lapointe from CBC Radio Canada. Go ahead.
Oui, bonjour. Donc, je me demande comment vous voyez la prochaine saison à travailler avec Rick Bowness.
Ouais, j'ai hâte. C'est un coach que je pense pas que j'ai des amis qui ont joué pour lui, donc j'ai pas eu trop d'informations. On s'est parlé 2 fois. On s'est parlé samedi pour un peu une petite préparation pour la saison, mais je suis sûr qu'on va se reparler pendant l'été. J'ai vraiment hâte. Il a fait vraiment une bonne job avec Dallas. Ils ont amené en finale la Coupe quand je pense pas que beaucoup de personnes voyaient Dallas rendre en finale. Dallas, c'est une équipe contre qui on jouait souvent dans son division. Une équipe très difficile à jouer contre. Très bon défensivement. Une équipe, je pense, un peu bâtie pour les playoffs. Ils ont perdu cette année contre Calgary, mais Calgary avait une excellente équipe. La série, c'est une série incroyable. Donc, j'ai vraiment hâte de pouvoir travailler avec lui. Puis le coaching staff au complet, parce que même les assistants coach, tout le monde est nouveau. Donc, ça va être un nouveau défi pour tout le monde.
Puis juste pour rebondir là-dessus, avec le nouveau staff, avec cette équipe-là cette année, c'est quoi vos espoirs et vos attentes?
Ouais, on n'a pas parlé en équipe encore. Je pense qu'on va faire ça plus pour le camp, mais l'année passée, on avait des attentes élevées. On n'a pas fait les séries. Il restait 5-6 matchs. Donc, ça a été une grosse déception, mais on sait le talent qu'on a dans cette équipe-là. On sait qu'est-ce qu'on est capable de faire. On va pas laisser l'année passée nous démotiver ou changer nos attentes. Mais comme j'ai dit, avec le staff, avec tout le monde, je pense qu'on va en parler pendant le camp d'entraînement, mais déjà parler aux joueurs un peu, déjà texter les gars un peu. On a très hâte à cette saison et on pense qu'on a vraiment une bonne équipe.
Final questions to Olivier Pellerin. Go ahead.
Salut Pierre-Luc, merci beaucoup pour le temps. Je suis curieux de t'entendre sur la pression que représente peut-être la saison prochaine, parce que comme on l'entend, il n'y a pas juste les journalistes, il y a aussi certaines personnes sur les réseaux sociaux qui parlent de ta décision de rester 1 an, de ta pression, je te vois sourire, de revenir avec l'équipe et d'avoir une saison importante parce que tu vas avoir négocié un contrat l'année prochaine. Donc, comment tu te sens par rapport à la pression de la prochaine saison puis en lien avec cette décision-là de rester juste 1 an ou en tout cas de signer au moins juste pour 1 an avec les Jets?
Ouais, ben, pour moi, chaque saison, c'est la même chose. Que j'ai un contrat de que j'ai un contrat de, je sais que c'est impossible, mais que j'ai un contrat de 12 ans ou que j'ai un contrat d'un an, mes attentes envers moi-même, l'effort que je mets dans le gym, tout, il n'y a rien qui change. Je me souviens, mon père, quand je me fais ou quand c'était mon année de repêchage, il y a quelqu'un qui m'avait dit, c'est ton année la plus importante de ta carrière, c'est ton repêchage, blablabla. Puis mon père m'avait dit, toutes tes années sont importantes. C'est pas à cause que cette année, c'est repêchage que c'est plus important. C'est pas à cause que cette année, j'ai un contrat qu'il faut que je signe l'année prochaine que c'est plus important. C'est la même chose. J'essaie de gagner à chaque année. J'essaie de donner mon maximum à chaque année. Je sais que des fois, peut-être à l'extérieur, il y a du monde qui voit ça différemment ou qui ont des attentes différentes. Mais je pense qu'il y a personne, je connais personne qui a des attentes plus élevées envers moi-même que moi-même. Donc, la pression de plus de l'extérieur, ça me dérange pas vraiment parce que, comme je te dis, je mets déjà assez de pression sur moi-même à bien performer que ça ne change rien pour moi.
Qu'est-ce qu'il te faudrait, tu as 24 ans, mais qu'est-ce qu'il te faudrait pour rester à long terme, d'être capable de rester à long terme avec une équipe ou de t'engager à long terme?
Si tu m'avais posé cette question-là à 18 ans, ça serait différent que maintenant. Donc, là, j'ai signé un an à Winnipeg. J'ai très hâte. Comme j'ai dit, si je voulais quitter Winnipeg, j'aurais essayé de quitter. J'aurais demandé un échange, j'aurais pas signé de contrat. J'ai signé le contrat. J'ai hâte de retourner au camp d'entraînement et d'avoir cette saison. L'été prochain, ça sera. On va sûrement se retrouver ici sur un appel similaire à parler de ça. Donc, l'été prochain, je vais commencer à penser à ça, mais pour le moment, c'est juste la saison.
Si tu me permets, peut-être juste une dernière question très rapide en lien avec les commentaires de Pat. Je ne vais pas revenir nécessairement sur les rumeurs ou quoi que ce soit, mais à quel point t'en as jasé avec lui de la possibilité de jouer à Montréal un jour? À quel point ça fait partie de vos discussions d'un intérêt quelconque un jour de négocier pour peut-être aller jouer avec Montréal?
Moi et Pat, on essaie de pas penser trop dans le futur. C'est important un peu qu'on soit sur la même page, qu'on sache qu'on a une idée de ce que chacun pense, mais on spécule pas trop sur le futur. Il y a tellement de choses qui peuvent changer en un an, tellement de choses qui peuvent changer en 2 ans. Des fois, une équipe te veut, 3 semaines plus tard, ils ont repêché quelqu'un, ils ont signé quelqu'un, puis ils n'ont plus besoin de toi. Donc, c'est le monde du hockey, ça va vite, ça bouge rapidement, des décisions se font prendre des fois très rapidement, donc on n'essaie pas trop de spéculer sur ce qui pourrait peut-être arriver dans 1 an ou dans 2 ans.
Merci Pierre-Luc, bonne préparation.
Merci.
Thanks very much, Pierre-Luc. Thanks everybody for joining us and have a great day.